gonna lay my head down. I was born with only one way to go. Life of the drifter's all I know. Go home, I came on stealing steam, living my life street to street. You open my eyes, now I'll be your man. Doff the chains of freedom with a weathered end. I'll be a warrior, live strength to my hand. Command me inside in this broken land. I'll be a warrior, your fighting is now mine. Walk with me. These scars I bear, I won for you. How far up that I saw this through. I never asked for a thing in return. You say the word in this world will burn. I'll be a warrior, live strength to my hand. Command me as I defend this broken land. I'll be a warrior, your fight is now mine. Walk with me. I'll be a warrior, live strength to my hand. Command me as I defend this broken land. I'll be a warrior, your fighting is now mine. Walk with me.
The trail of the 3rd Army and the 19th Tactical Air Command of the 8th Air Force is marked by more than 40,000 white crosses. 40,000 dead Americans.
We were young and soldiers called to dedicate our lives in the name of God and country. Do what's just, boys. Go do what's right. A hot band of brothers waiting on our chance to add one more page unto the victory dance. Here am I, Lord, send me. Victory lies in the spirit of the lives of the men who died for me.
Then I heard the voice of the Lord say, whom shall I send? And who will go for us? And I said, here am I. Send me.
This is Michael Brother, Marine Corps veteran, actor, and GallantFew board member. You are listening to the New American Veteran on Vets on Media. Now here's Carl Monger.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for joining GallantFew's The New American Veteran on the Vets on Media Network. Making sure you can hear me okay here. Have I got lights? I got lights. I think I do. Okay, here we go. Hey, now let's not start playing that already. That was not planned. Stand by.
What do you
heck.
stand to lose?
Let's listen to Ranger
when you make
Bemis
the
anyway.
choice to drink and drive? Your career, the people that you love the most, your ability to walk, your ability to use your hands. The list goes on and on. What do you stand to gain when you make the choice to not drink and drive? You stand to gain everything. I made the choice to drink and drive, and that's some of the things I lost. Learn from my mistakes. Make the right choice. Don't drink and drive. Rangers lead the way.
All right, now this time I'll stop that playlist because it just decided to take off on its own, which I wasn't planning on it doing. But anyway, welcome to the show. I see I've got my guests are both standing by. Let me do a couple quick announcements and then we'll go right to them. Today's February 10th, 2015. And as I said earlier, welcome to GallantFew's The New American Veteran Talk Show. TNAV is a broadcast of GallantFew Incorporated, a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to prevent veteran unemployment, homelessness, and suicide by connecting new veterans with hometown veteran mentors, thereby facilitating a peaceful and successful transition from military service back to a civilian life filled with purpose and hope. We started calling our mentors guides, and I ran a little thing on Facebook this last week and asked for input because mentor is way overused, and there are several other words that you can use for that, but mentor is really the best choice. So as we got to thinking about what it is we want a mentor to really do when they help transition a new veteran from active duty, or it might not even be a new veteran, so we can't just use new veteran. So anyway, we settled on guide as the term for a veteran that is in that mentoring role. Then what do we call the person that is being mentored? New veteran, sometimes it could be a veteran that's been off active duty for 20 years and they need some assistance through whatever they're going through now. It could be somebody that, I don't know, they haven't left active duty yet. It certainly is somebody that we want to go through that transition process and then become a guide themselves. So one of the best suggestions that I've seen so far on the Facebook page was future guide. So we have guides and we have future guides, and the future guides become guides and they guide more future guides. So it continues to grow and reinforce itself and pay it forward. So that may be the t-shirt winner. I'm going to watch it for a few more days and then we'll decide, because I said whoever comes up with the best name gets a free GallantFew t-shirt. Let me talk about specifically what those guides do, because our goal is to connect every new veteran with a hometown veteran mentor. And we do this by creating and supporting a nationwide network of successfully transitioned veterans who engage locally with new veterans with the same military background that are now going through their own transition. And as I said in the beginning, our purpose is, and we believe that this will prevent veteran unemployment, homelessness, and suicide. Now, I didn't mean for that playlist to take off like it did, but it did. And Ranger Bemis talked about, he did his public service announcement there about drinking and driving, and it's my privilege to bring Ranger Bemis on the show today. And I'm also bringing Jim Wharton on. Jim is the director of the Granger Legacy, which is an organization founded to carry on the legacy of his late son-in-law, Army Ranger Jason Granger. Hey guys, welcome to the show. When you say hi, it should show your screen. And for some reason, Ranger Bemis is muted. So let's unmute you if we can do that. How are you?
Am I live now?
You are live now, man.
Outstanding. Hey, thanks for having us on, Carl.
Welcome to the show. One of the things I want everybody to know is Chris Bemis is coming on as the volunteer show producer for the New American Veteran. So he is already working to help line up future guests and coordinate. He's the reason that Jim Wharton's on the show today. So hey Jim, welcome. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm not hearing you. I'm seeing your mouth moving, but I'm not hearing anything from you. So you might double check and just make sure you're not muted. Nope, I'm still not hearing anything from you. Not yet. While he works on that, Chris, let's talk real quick about what is the Granger Legacy. And hey, do we have Jim now? I heard some clicking noises.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Hey, welcome, Jim.
Okay, obviously a defective microphone. I just unplugged it. so I'll use the computer microphone. If that
You know,
sounds
sometimes
okay.
what happens is there's a little gear up at the top of this window, and you can click on that and you can select the source. And I did that to myself one of the first, well, I've done it several times, where I'll unplug my laptop and I'll use it without my headsets and microphone, and then everything defaults back to the old settings, and then when I go put it into the show, here I am, and nobody can hear anything that I'm saying. So thanks for figuring that out so quickly. Jim, again, welcome to the show. Granger Legacy, talk a little bit about your son-in-law and how did Granger Legacy come to pass?
Well, Carl, probably Chris would be the best person to start that off, because that's basically his story is what everything is based on. If you want to.
No, perfect. Let's do that. Chris, let's toss the ball to you.
Granger Legacy is carrying on the legacy of, obviously, of Jason Granger after he passed. And his legacy was helping his brothers in need. And
first off, who is Ranger Granger? Tell us who he was, what rank he was, kind of what you can tell about his military service. Give us a little of the background.
He was a Ranger at 175 in Savannah, Georgia. He served the same time as me. We spent a lot of time together as roommates and bouncers down at the local club. So, you know, that was very interesting, and we kind of got a camaraderie together with the fisticuffs that we got into. But Jay was in 3rd Platoon. I was in 2nd Platoon. We were deployed to combat together. We were not in combat situations together since we were in different platoons. But we were close. We were brothers. And after I broke my neck drinking and driving, he was one of the guys that, you know, kept up with me and checked on me. And when my family left me, he was the guy that was there for me, that picked me up and got me motivated. He was like the one Ranger that knew what he could say to me. And that was, hey, you need to suck it up and be a man and do what needs to be done. And you can't really just tell everybody that. You know, you only certain people. But Jay knew that that's what he had to do. And he helped me. And he took me away from, you know, sitting in my truck with a gun, praying to God for the strength to kill myself. He got me back on track. And with him doing that, I was able to help others. And that's what his legacy is, helping your brothers in need. And one of the best parts of the story that is Jim, his father-in-law, who started Granger Legacy, who now has the horse ranch going and progressing every day, is the fact that he's not a veteran. He's an American. And we need more men like that, men and women, to help us, because we're not going to make it without them. We need them to help us, because honestly, right now in the warfighter community, there's not a lot of trust for the civilian sides. It's just your brothers and sisters, and the close ones at that. We need somebody we can trust, and Jim Wharton's one of them people, and he's doing a hell of a job, and I'm really proud of him carrying on the legacy of Sergeant First Class Jason Granger.
Hey, before we, there we go. I thought I was muted there for a second. Before we jump over to Jim, the timing, about the time that you got reconnected with the network of veterans, you got kind of reconnected. I don't know if you and Jason had been out of touch for a while, or if he just really re-engaged about the point where you were really kind of no purpose, no hope. You were literally at the end of your rope, looking at the end of a gun barrel, and you had some interactions with him that helped to turn that around. Can you talk a little bit about that, and what, I mean, you've talked about his impact on you, but that specific, your trip out to California and you guys went on a jump. Talk a little bit about the significance of that and how that played out.
Well, one of the reasons I met you is because I had made some postings. I had finally reconnected with friends on Facebook and said, you know, hey, this is what I'm facing, and I want to kill myself, but honestly, in all truth, I don't. I just don't want to deal with the pain. And Jay was like, hey, you need to come out to Arizona, and I'm going to get you straight. And at the time, he was a Halo instructor at Yuma Proving Grounds. And so I went out there, and I spent some time with him and the guys that he was in the military with, and we did a jump in Sedona, Arizona. It was a tandem jump because I'm paralyzed from the chest down. And for the first time in probably, for the first time since I broke my neck May 7th of 2005, I felt alive again. I mean, I was screaming through the air, 100 miles an hour or so, and it was great to be alive again, to finally have that feeling. And it gave me motivation, getting out and driving. That's what I do now. I go, I drive the states. I see all the sights, the mountains, the deserts. I've gone 63 some odd thousand miles since coming out to Arizona November of 2013. And that's because Jay got me motivated, because he showed me that, hey, just because you're paralyzed, just because you have PTSD, there's still life out there. You just got to want it. You got to get it. And that's what he gave me. He gave me the motivation, because the very words that he said to me was, you're going to have to suck it up and be a man. And he knew that was going to fire me up, tick me off at myself for being a sissy, and, suck it up and be a man. And he was the only person that could say that to me, and he did, and I'm glad he did. And not too long after you guys had this interaction in the jump, he was tragically killed in a parachute accident. And the timing of that, I mean, if you were able to be there for his family, for his kids, and for the other Rangers that were in the area, and if it hadn't been for the timing of you reconnecting with him, if he had been killed before you reconnected with him, you probably wouldn't be here. I definitely wouldn't be here, because the fact of the matter is, with the chronic pain that I live in, with the type of individual I am, that, when I care about somebody and I love somebody, just because they're out of my life doesn't mean that love changes. I'll love forever. So I'll carry that pain and that guilt of what I've done to the people in my past with me forever. So I live for my brothers, and I'm hardcore about it. I get up every day and I make it through each day, because I know there's Rangers out there that say, hey, if Bemis can do it, then I can do it. And I know that they're motivated, because just at like the Black and Tan reunion in Vegas a few weeks ago, they told me, my guys, some of my young guys that I raised, they told me, they said, hey, I watch what you're doing and I'm motivated by it. And thanks, you helped me to keep going. And that motivates me. There's nothing I love more than my guys. Amazingly powerful, Chris. And when you think about, when I opened the show, I talked about GallantFew trying to help every veteran have purpose and hope. And that's what you achieved, purpose and hope. It wasn't because of what we did, but you are helping us provide that to more and more veterans every day. So thank you for doing that. And it's not easy with the physical challenges that you have. It is not easy to get yourself up every day and go towards it, but having that purpose is one of the things that continues to drive you forward. And so thank you for everything that you do. Hey, Jim, let's bring you on now, and let's talk about, if you want to add on to anything that Chris said, and then from that, what led you to start Granger Legacy? What is it, and how can other people find out about it or help support it?
Okay. Basically, what Chris said was going on, and I was kind of watching the interaction and finding out, when Chris had come out to spend with 2 weeks or so with Jason and my daughter Kayla, I was hearing about what was going on, and I sent Jason a text saying that I was, I'm damn proud of you, Ranger, and he just said, thanks, Jimmy. And but there was a time early on in their marriage where Jason had showed signs of PTSD, and I never really knew at the time that he was dealing with that, but I knew that when he came home and actually divorced Kayla, and that something drastically had changed in his life. And you grow up thinking that war changes a guy, but PTSD wasn't in my vocabulary or anybody that I really knew didn't really understand. And then, you know, you find out later that he had worked himself through that. Jason was an amazing individual like that. If he saw a challenge, he would find out everything he could about it and do everything in his power to tackle an issue, whether it was learning, you know, he was getting ready to transition out, and he was looking at different things, and he would gather books and go online, and he would just attack it full force, 100%. You know, it didn't hold nothing back. He would find out everything he needed to know about something. He wasn't a guy to sit on a couch and share his feelings with somebody and cry on somebody's shoulder. He fought through what he was dealing with on his own, and he finally came back, and he called me, and he said, Jim, I want to be a father to my son. I haven't been a father to my son, and I'm not sure that Kayla and I will have a relationship, but I want to be a dad. He needs a dad, and I want to be that. And they wound up getting remarried, and it was one of the strongest relationships that I've ever seen. Jay was this big, tall, powerful dude, and you know, and he was pretty badass. And for this situation to happen with the skydiving incident, just floored me. And when all the guys showed up, some of them that day, they all came to my house because that's where Kayla was staying, and to see the brotherhood, you know, and I'm a stay-at-home civilian, so this was all kind of new to me, even though that we had known Jason his whole career in the Army Rangers, and but they had always been stationed in other states, and I was never really privy to what goes on. But I started learning more about PTSD and what guys were going through and just how bad it is. And, you know, in the community, we all know the statistics because it goes around all day long, every day, 22 a day, one active duty every day. That's over 8,000 a year, more than we've lost in 14 years in both Afghanistan and Iraq. And it's a damn national shame that it's going on. And I decided I've got to do something. We've got to do something. The VA is swamped. The bureaucracy is just bloated, and things are just not happening at the grassroots level. And like Chris said, you know, being a stay-at-home civilian, I can't say suck it up, let's move on, because I don't have the right, I haven't earned the right to tell somebody suck it up. What am I going to do to make this happen, to make guys really be able to integrate? And I'll say integrate because I'm with the community that says that a warfighter doesn't need to assimilate back into this society. But I think we need our warfighters functioning, and we need them here at home, just like we needed them over there. And I thought, you know, I ride a Harley, and I thought, you know, that clears my head, and being out in the desert. And I, you know, talking with Chris, he said some of the best times of his life was spending that 2 weeks out in the desert. A lot of good head clearing can going on, and you can talk to your creator out there and really kind of get back to reality. Sometimes that's just a temporary thing, so we looked past that and really got to find out a lot about equine therapy and how that works, and studied it, researched it. My other son-in-law is a psychologist. He looked into it, and we decided, you know, this is what we're going to do. Let's find out how we can do this.
Now, for those who aren't familiar with the term, or you know, it can be kind of a big word, equine.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean?
Well, equine assisted therapy or psychotherapy, I don't really like that term, but that's the technical term. But it's just getting in an arena with a 1,200-pound animal that is like totally truthful and can totally tell your feelings whether you're putting on a fake face or not. They are a prey animal, so they're hyper vigilant, just like our warfighters are when they come back with dealing with that. But they can turn it off, and where a warfighter really can't shut it off. It's so ingrained. We spend millions, if not billions, of dollars to make a warfighter out of somebody, to develop that, and then do a little debrief and say, go home and you know, get a job. make it happen. And we're not doing enough to reintegrate. I'll use that term again. But the equine assisted therapy really started out a lot with the children with special needs, and they started moving that into working with adults, and have found that it's a really good fit with a whole lot of warfighters. It's like any therapy or treatment or something. It's not for everybody. It doesn't do the same in every situation, but it's something that we could address, we could approach. We wound up with a ranch. We're partnering with a ranch that was doing a children's horse ranch. We've brought in the therapists. We now have 5 waiting for us to get fully going. Right now we've on a fund drive to start a building. We promised the owner of the property that we would help her build what she was building and clean up the property, and we have full use of the property. We're going to start on weekends, and that's probably next month we'll have our first sessions. But in my mind, it's iconic to see a warrior standing next to a horse. I mean, that's just from the beginning of conflict, and I think there's a connection there. I don't know, mystical or whatever. I don't really buy in too much on the mystical thing, but there is a connection. And I'm a first-generation non-horse person. My family is tied with horses until I was born. But I am reconnecting, and it's amazing what standing next to one of those beautiful animals can do. And it just reaches inside of you. And if you got somebody there as a guide that knows the inner workings and can guide you in that interaction, it's just amazing, the results. And that's our start. And we're going to branch out into a lot of other areas. I'd like to say that Jason had this big tattoo on his back, starting from the top and going down his spine. It just said FTW, and I know we all know what that means, but we're going to utilize that.
We think we know what that means.
Yeah. Well, he told Kayla, my daughter, that it meant forever together, wherever, and she didn't buy that. But we're going to use that because that's going to be our promise to the community, and it's going to stand for the warrior, for the wounded, and for the widow. We want to reach out to the entire family with this because we know that PTSD and stuff can wind up being secondary with the family. So we want to take care and be able to reach the entire family with everything that we do and involve them on the days that they go in for sessions, and just have it be a real comfortable good situation where we don't take a warfighter away from their family for a day or a weekend or a 3-day session, but everybody can be there and enjoying the time together.
So I was writing that down when you said that, because I forget things if I don't make a note on it. For the warrior, for the wounded, and for the widow.
That's correct.
And that's a phenomenal way to take that FTW and turn it into something that becomes not only a slogan, that's not the right term for it, but almost an essence or a mission statement. I mean, that's pretty cool. I've heard lots of things about equine therapy, and you talked about a horse being a very intuitive creature. I mean, I have heard that if there are 3 or 4 people there, if one of them is very upset, the horse can sense that with nobody even saying anything, and the horse will go over to that person that's upset and nudge them, or touch their nuzzle to their cheek, or something that kind of says, "Hey, I'm here. It's okay." Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, with my research and dealing with the people that are handlers and stuff, is I really don't quite understand it completely, but they will mirror the emotions of a person that's in there, and they like a service dog. Their hearts are bigger than ours are. I think when they become domesticated and they don't fear us anymore as a predator. That so I was saying the other day that a dog looks up to a man, but a horse will look at a man and see him as an equal. And that's really, really a true statement, because, like I said, they will mirror the emotions. If you go in there angry, but you've got a smile on your face, they're calling BS, and they're going to mirror, and they're going to react to the anger that's inside, or the rage that somebody has. And in that situation, the therapist that's involved at that point can bring that to light and have somebody look inside and say, I guess they call it projection, when you project, oh, that horse is angry and he's got a rage inside and he's going to hurt somebody, and that's really will mirror what that person is actually feeling inside. And I don't know how that works. It's just the way they are created.
So where's the ranch? Where's the facility located?
We're in Southern California, and it's just outside of Hesperia, which is in the high desert area. If anybody's in the LA area and ever went up to Las Vegas, they've passed the highway that we're off of. It's on a dead-end dirt road, so there's not a lot of traffic. So when you get out there, it's quiet. We got out there early the other morning on a volunteer weekend, and you could hear the birds, and that was just about it. And every once in a while, a pickup will go down the dirt road at the end of the driveway. But just being there has a calming effect, because you're out there in the desert, and you're away from just about everything. They can get more information about the exact location. We've got GrangerLegacy.org is our blog where we put some information, and I'm not a prolific blogger, so there's not a whole lot on there, but our basic mission statement, and I believe the address is on there. Now we're on Facebook, of course, at Facebook/Granger Legacy, and we get a lot more put on there. And it's called Granger Outpost is our relationship with the Wagon Wheel Ranch, which is the actual 501c3. We have applied for ours, and we're awaiting Granger Legacy's 501c3 nonprofit status, but we've entered into a partnership with her. So the official, the name out there is Granger Outpost at Wagon Wheel Ranch, but all the information you can find out will be under Granger Legacy.
What's your how many funds are you trying to raise? Where are you in the process now?
Well, we've got to get a slab down for that building, or she will lose her conditional use permit. And we've probably got just less than 3 weeks. We're about 12% into our drive to get 20,000 on there. And I want to thank everybody that has pitched in, present company included, and that was I appreciate everybody helping. And we've got a ways to go. If we can get a power pole in and get it inspected, it's possible that they can do a sign-off and get us that 6-month extension. But it's not just a building permit, it's her conditional use permit, which took her forever to get, because it does include children, and it's a very, very difficult permit to get, because we are protective of our children, even here in California.
Sure. I'll make sure and post those links, and Chris, you can help make sure I get all of the associated sites together for that. Absolutely. And yeah, we'll send that through all the networks and see if we can't get some resources. Maybe some folks out there will feel compelled to help you get to this. So you got about 3 weeks. How much more? Are you halfway to the 20 or a fourth of the way?
We're 12%. We've got just a little bit less than 3,000. We started off with a bang, and then just kind of we haven't got outside the circle, and this is one of the things that bothers me. It was the warfighter community that gave a large percentage of that, where it should be the other way around. The civilian community should be the ones supporting our warfighters, but you can't tell a warfighter he can't take care of his own. So, but it's getting the community at large to get involved.
And part of that's the awareness. If they don't know what you're doing, then they don't have any way to get connected to make that donation.
Right.
So,
we're just not getting outside the circle.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can help you maybe make a little bit of inroads along that way.
Thank you very much, Carl.
Hey, Chris, is there anything that you want to talk about that we didn't cover yet on this?
Well, every time I come on the radio, it don't matter what show I'm on, I like to cover a couple things real quick. First off, for the American civilian that wants to help the American warfighter, what can you do? Well, right there, you just heard something that you can do. Because people ask me all the time, what can they do? You can give your time. You can go out to Granger Legacy at the Wagon Wheel Ranch and help get it squared away and get it on point and get it going. Or you can make a donation. I do it all the time. I understand I make a lot more money than most people, so I'm shooting $100 there, $100 here. but $5, do it. Just make a $5 donation to an organization, to GallantFew, to Granger Legacy. It makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. And people need to start doing that. They need to put their money where their mouth is, and when they ask, what can I do, and then somebody tells them, they need to do it. Because it happens all the time, and then I see no results. And I'm an action guy. Let's see some actions. The other thing I want to cover is, what can you do for the American warfighter that with the issue of 22 veteran suicides every day? And that is just simply this. Tell them that you don't understand. You haven't been where they've been, but you're there and you're going to listen, and that you care about them and that you love them, and the last thing that you want them to do is to kill themselves. And of course, if they say that they want to end their life, you need to let people know. You need to take that seriously and not just blow it off.
Chris, thank you. It's a good message they need to hear. It came through just a little bit garbled on my side, so hopefully as the server picked it up to record it, it'll be clear. If not, I'm going to get you to requote that, and then we'll insert it later on when I do the production on it. I want to thank you guys both for being on the show today. What you're doing is incredibly important. Honoring Jason Granger's legacy there can be no greater testament to somebody. Now I know who doesn't listen to my show because they're calling me. There can be no greater testament to the regard that somebody holds somebody else, but for them to be able to memorialize them forever through works that help other people, other veterans. So both of you, thanks for what you're doing, because it definitely makes a difference. And I hope this thing pulls off, because I'd like to come out there and maybe see how that horse thing works one of these days.
Absolutely. Love to have you.
All right, guys. Thanks for being on the show. If you want to stick around for a minute, yeah, go ahead.
Run, Ranger, run. It's going on right now. So everybody get out there and run, bike, swim, walk, push wheelchairs, whatever it takes. Get it done. Run, Ranger, run. Rangers lead the way. Thanks, sir.
RunRangerRun.com. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, we're about a little over a quarter, maybe almost towards a third of the way towards. Good grief! About a third of the way towards Run Ranger Run. The end of February. My phone here is throwing me off here just a little bit, but I checked last night. What's that?
I said you're a popular guy. I have the same problem. I can't get nobody to leave me alone.
And I can't multitask. I'm like squirrel, like the dog. With Run Ranger Run, what is so absolutely critically important about Run Ranger Run is one time a year. It's almost like a telethon. We do the month of February, but rather than just begging people for money, what we do is we ask them to get out and share the message of veterans' challenges today, and then what organizations like GallantFew do about it. And if they continue to share that message, more and more people are going to hear it. If they believe that what we do makes a difference, then they're going to want to contribute to that effort. And I pulled a report last night. We're darn near 1,000 participants for Run Ranger Run. And when I do the next show that I do, I'll try and pull up a map that shows all of the participants, because I think virtually every state is covered, Hawaii included, Alaska included, and we've got 4 or 5 countries in Europe that have veterans over there or civilians that are participating. And it's an event that is challenging, because the month of February, to get out, and even down here in Dallas sometimes it gets pretty chilly in the morning, but to get out in the month of February and start moving, and whether you're walking, biking, or running, or you go to an indoor pool and swim, whatever you do that covers distance, we want you to get out there and do it, and encouraging everybody to pursue a healthy lifestyle and share the information that veterans are going through a heck of a rocky road on transition is super important. One other thing that I want to mention here before I conclude the show, and that is we have some amazing organizations that have supported what we've done, and I get a lot of things that are donated to GallantFew to use for fundraising, or I've had some folks say, hey, we just want you to have this, and there are very few things that I hang on to myself. But one thing, when I was at SHOT Show the week before last, I bought a ticket for another nonprofit because they were fundraising, and the thing that they were giving away was a battle mug. So I won, and I got this. It's actually a cup, and it's a memorial cup. It's got an inscription on there. I don't know if you can read what that inscription is, but it says, America the Beautiful, limited edition SHOT Show 2015, 11 of 30. So battle mug is, this is like a flash suppressor on the front of a M4, and they make a number of different versions of this. And this is a metal one. The metal ones are pretty damn expensive. They have some plastic ones that aren't quite so expensive, but they're not quite as nice either. So I got to show that off. I got to say thanks to Battle Mug, because not only are they a GallantFew supporter, and I think we've got a Battle Mug that we're giving away as part of the Run Ranger Run prizes, but they also support other organizations. So they're absolutely great group of folks. I apologize for the show being an hour late today for those of you who might check in and watch it online, because I don't know if you can tell by my eyes, because my glasses are on right now. I've been, I don't know, maybe Chris Bemis knocked me upside the head one too many times or something, but I've got something going on with my right eye, so the doctor's been trying to figure out what's going on with it. And they did an MRI, assured me that I had a brain, but my eyes are still so dilated that today, this whole day has been just kind of off for me. So I appreciate you watching the show, appreciate you participating. And Chris, thanks for being the new producer on the show. I'm excited about where we're going with this. We're going to have some great guests, and we're going to have some fun. I'm
going to get into the studio here in Phoenix with Vets on Media and Adam, and start learning. I want to give a quick shout out to the Raider Project. At SHOT Show, I realized kind of the scale of what all these Marines are doing, and it's pretty outstanding. Somebody lit a fire underneath their backside, and they're doing a hell of a job. So shout out to Nick and the Raider Project over there.
The Raider Project is doing an outstanding job, and I'm real proud of the work that they're doing, and they're setting the standard right now, and we got a little bit of catching up to do.
I got a lot of work to do, a lot. Good talking to you.
All right. Hey, thanks for being on the show, Chris, and I'll be in touch with you.
All right.
I always end the show, I like to play taps, and I'm going to try and get in here without it deciding to go and run through the entire playlist. But because my day today was just a little bit out of whack, making sure that my playlists are in sync and ready to go has been a little bit of a challenge. So now if we can get Real Player to not be locked up, which it is, and odds are 50% here that when I kill Real Player, it's going to crash the Google Hangout. Let's hope that it doesn't. So bear with me here for just a minute. Let's see what happens. All right, I'm still on the air. Here we go. Let's restart that guy. I think it didn't like it when I decided to stop that playlist earlier. It's a little cranky. Thank you for listening to GallantFew's The New American Veteran. Special thanks to Michael Broderick, Tim Abel, and Madison Rising for permission to use their audio recordings on this broadcast. That rendition of Taps is a public domain recording created by a soldier or employee of the United States government, and as such is not subject to copyright protection. This has been a production of GallantFew's The New American Veteran, a proud member of the Vets on Media Global Network, all rights reserved. Learn more about GallantFew at www.gallantfew.org.